In the previous lecture, we obtained the expression for electric potential for the case of a point source charge. So there we saw that if we have a point source charge, let's say it is plus Q, and we want to find the electric potential at another point, let's say capital P, which is at a distance of R from the source charge. So what is the expression of potential at this point? The potential is given by the potential, it will depend upon the distance of the observation point, so it will be a function of the distance, which is small r. So potential is a function of distance of the observation point from the source charge, and the expression of potential is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, the magnitude of the source charge, which is Q over here, divided by the distance of the observation point where we are looking at where we are about to find the electric potential. So the distance of this observation point from the source charge, and that is nothing but small r. So this is the magnitude of the distance. So here we do not have any vector form as we had in the case of electric field. So in the case of electric field, we had r square into r cap. So that was the expression of electric field. So electric field is a vector quantity, whereas electric potential, it is a scalar quantity, and there is no vector form in the expression of electric potential. So this was the expression that we had derived in the previous lecture. Now we are going to find the gradient of this potential. So the gradient, we are well aware of this term gradient, so which we had done in the first chapter. So gradient is always found out of a scalar field. So this is a scalar quantity, so this will be the scalar field. So now we are going to find the gradient of this scalar field, that is we are going to find gradient of a scalar field, which is the electric potential. We are going to find gradient of electric potential. So electric potential is nothing but, for the case of point charge, is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R. So now we are going to find gradient of this right hand side. So what will be the gradient? It will be gradient of this whole expression of the electric potential. So this gradient is nothing but the derivative. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught and Q, these are the constant quantities, and they will be taken out of this del operator. So this del operator, the gradient will be only of 1 by r, which is left inside the bracket. The constant terms, they can be taken outside, so we are just left with gradient of 1 by r, and gradient, it is a form of a derivative. So gradient of 1 by r will be nothing but, so gradient of 1 by r, it can be written as gradient of r power minus 1, and this is nothing but similar to derivative. So this will be minus 1 by r square. So gradient of 1 by r is equal to minus 1 by r square. So we will put this expression of gradient of 1 by r in this equation. So we will get Q by 4 pi epsilon naught. It will remain as it is. Then gradient of 1 by r is nothing but minus 1 by r square. So that is equal to minus of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by r square. And one more thing, the gradient of a scalar function is always a vector quantity. So this we had seen in the properties of a gradient, that gradient of any scalar field is always a vector quantity. So on the right hand side, here we have minus 1 by r square, and the direction will be r cap. To make it as a vector quantity, the direction is r cap. So direction is written as r cap. So gradient of 1 by r is equal to minus 1 by r square into r cap. So here also we will get gradient of 1 by r will be minus 1 by r square into r cap. And over here also we will have r cap. Now this quantity over here on the right hand side, this is nothing but electric field. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by r square into r cap, this is nothing but electric field vector. So we can say that gradient of a potential, gradient of electric potential at a particular point in the space gives us negative of the electric field at that particular point in the space. So gradient of a electric field is equal to negative of the electric field, or you can say the electric field intensity is negative of the gradient of electric potential. So electric field intensity is equal to negative of gradient of electric potential, and this is a very important result. So you may get some numericals in which you are given the potential. So you are given the expression of the potential and you are asked to find the electric field intensity. So in that case you just have to do the gradient of the potential and then do its negative. Take its negative sign, so that will give you the electric field intensity at that point. So electric field at a point is negative of the gradient of electric potential at that point. So this expression is a very important result, and numericals are also important on this particular formula. Now in the first chapter, in the article of types of vector fields, so in the types of vector fields, we saw that when the curl of a vector field is equal to 0, then this field A vector, this vector field can be written as gradient of some scalar function. So you may go back to the first chapter and just see the article of types of vector fields. So in that case we did two types of vector fields. First was the divergence-less field and second one was the curl-less field. So under the topic of curl-less fields means the curl of a vector field is equal to 0. So for any vector field whose curl is equal to 0 at all points in space, that particular vector field can be written as gradient of some scalar function. So this we have already done under the curl-less field topic. Now in the case of electric field, so we have just seen that electric field can be written as gradient of a scalar function. So we just did that electric field can be written as gradient of a scalar function, and we have also seen the curl of vector field. So in the last lecture we saw the curl of vector field is equal to 0. So the condition of curl-less field is fulfilled by the electric field. So for the case of electric field, its curl is equal to 0, as well as the electric field, it can be written as in the form of a gradient of a scalar function. So these are just the properties of curl-less fields. So now we are going to start the next topic, which is the electric potential due to a dipole. So we just found out the expression of electric potential due to a single point source charge, which is plus Q, and the formula of the potential at a particular point due to a source charge is given by this formula. It is given by this expression. So now we are going to look at the electric potential at any point due to a dipole. Now what is a dipole? What is an electric dipole? So electric dipole is nothing but two equal and opposite charges. They are separated by a particular distance. So they form an electric dipole. So now we are interested in finding electric potential at any point in the space due to this particular electric dipole. So let's say this is the observation point capital P, and we are interested to find the electric potential at this particular point in space due to these two charges which are present. Now let's suppose this charge is minus Q charge and this is the plus Q charge, and these two charges, they are separated by a distance of 2L. So O point, it is the center of the dipole, and OM is also equal to L, and OL is also equal to L. So the total distance between these two charges is equal to twice of L. Now this O point, it is the center of the dipole, as well as it is considered to be the origin of the coordinate system. So along this axis there will be x-axis, in the vertical direction there will be plus y-axis, in this direction there will be minus x-axis, and so on. So this O point is considered as the center of the dipole, as well as it is the origin of the coordinate system. So this is any random point, arbitrary point P, where we are interested to find the electric potential. So this point, observation point, is supposed to be at a distance of r. from the center of the dipole. So we are given a dipole which is minus q and plus q, two charges. They are separated by a distance of 2L, and we are interested to find the electric potential at P point, which is at a distance of r from the center of the dipole. So this vector OP vector, it will be the position vector of this observation point. So OP vector, since this O is the center of the coordinate system, it is the origin of the coordinate system, so OP vector will be nothing but the position vector of this observation point, and OP vector will be equal to R vector. Similarly, OM vector, this vector which is the position vector of plus q charge, so OM vector is equal to L vector, because this is considered to be as the origin of coordinate system, and this will be the plus axis and this will be the negative axis. So OM vector will be equal to L vector because this distance is equal to L. Similarly, OL vector. So OL vector is in the opposite direction as compared to OM vector. So OL vector will be equal to minus of L vector. And let's suppose the angle which is made by this R vector with the dipole, that is given by theta. Now the dipole moment, which we already know. What is dipole moment? Dipole moment is given by the charge times the distance between the two charges, and the direction of dipole moment is always from negative charge towards the positive charge. So this is the direction of the dipole moment, and dipole moment is represented by small p vector. So the direction of the dipole moment is in this direction, and R vector is pointing in this direction. So this theta angle is nothing but the angle between the R vector and the P vector, which is the dipole moment. So dipole moment is pointing from negative towards the positive charge, so its direction is along the right hand side, and this theta angle will be nothing but the angle which is made between the R vector and the direction of the dipole moment. So now we are going to find electric potential at P point. So to find electric potential at P point, so what we will do is, first of all we will find the electric potential due to this negative Q charge at P point, because we already know the formula of potential due to a point charge. So that is given by this formula, and we have 2 point charges over here. In the case of dipole, we have 2 point charges. So first of all we will find the electric potential due to plus Q at P point, and then we find the electric potential due to minus Q charge at the same point P, and then we will just add these two potentials. So that will give us the net potential at P point due to this whole dipole. So electric potential at P point, it will be given by potential due to plus Q charge plus potential due to minus Q charge. So potential due to plus Q charge. So potential due to plus Q charge will be so we will use this formula. So in this formula what we have, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into the charge divided by the distance of the charge from the observation point. So the distance of the observation point from the charge, so that is this distance. So potential due to plus Q charge, potential due to this charge will be given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into charge, so charge is nothing but plus Q, divided by the distance of the observation point from the plus Q charge, so that is nothing but this MP length. So divide by MP length. So this point is considered to be M, and this I have supposed to be capital L. So the distance of the observation point from the plus Q charge will be MP. So MP length divided by MP length will come in the denominator for the case of potential due to plus Q charge. Similarly, the potential due to minus Q charge. So that will be given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught minus Q divided by the distance of observation point from the charge. So that is nothing but LP. So divide by LP. So first of all, what we had seen that to find electric potential at P, you need to find what is potential due to plus Q charge, then potential due to minus Q charge. So for finding potential due to plus Q charge, we must know what is MP length. So everything else is known to us. Every other quantity is known to us. So the charge is known to us. The value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is also known to us. So what is not known, that is this length MP as well as this length LP. So MP length is not known as well as LP length is not known. So now the main task will be to find the expression of MP and LP in terms of other quantities that are known to us. So what is known is the distance, is this 2L length, that is the distance between the two charges. So L is known to us, as well as we know the distance of the observation point from the center of the dipole, because we have fixed this observation point where we want to find the potential, and distance of this observation point from the center of the dipole is already known to us, which is given by R. So now the main task will be to find the expression of LP and MP in terms of R and L as well as this theta angle. So this theta will also be known. So now we are interested to find what is MP length and what is LP length. So to find MP and LP, length, we will use the triangular law of vector addition. So we are interested to find what is MP. What we know is, we know OP and we know OM. So in this particular triangle, in this right hand side triangle which is on the right hand side, this triangle, so MP vector, or you can say OM vector plus MP vector. OM vector is along this direction and MP vector is also, it is in the same order, so it is in this direction. So using the triangle law of vector addition, OM vector plus MP vector, that will be equal to OP vector. So OM vector plus MP vector, that will be equal to OP vector. So from here we can easily find what is MP vector. Now what is OM vector? OM vector is equal to L vector. So OM vector is equal to L vector and OP vector, it is supposed to be R vector. So what will be MP vector from this equation? MP vector will be equal to OP vector minus OM vector. So OP vector is R vector minus of OM vector. OM vector is L vector. So what we get is MP vector is equal to R vector minus L vector. Similarly, we can find the LP vector. So similarly, we can find LP vector. So we will use this triangle which is on the left hand side. So in this triangle, OL vector, which is in this direction, OL vector plus LP vector will be equal to OP vector. So OL vector plus LP vector will be equal to OP vector. So OL vector plus LP vector will be equal to OP vector. Now what is OL vector? OL vector is equal to minus of L vector. So OL is equal to minus of L vector and OP vector is small r vector. So from here LP vector will come out to be equal to R vector plus L vector. So you have to rearrange the terms and you will get MP vector is equal to R vector minus L vector and LP vector is equal to R vector plus L vector. But we are interested to find the magnitude of these vectors. So in the denominator here we have this distance, but over here we have vectors. So here we want to find MP, the magnitude of MP vector as well as the magnitude of LP vector. But here we have MP and LP in vector form. So now we are going to find the magnitude of MP and LP. So to find their magnitude, we will do the dot product of these equations with itself. First of all, we will do the dot product of first equation with itself, and then we will do the dot product of second equation with itself. So now we have just seen that MP vector is equal to r vector minus l vector. So MP vector, it came out to be r vector, which is OP vector, minus of l vector, and we found LP vector is equal to r vector plus l vector. So now we are going to find what is the magnitude of MP vector and the magnitude of LP vector. So to find magnitude of MP vector, first of all we will do the dot product of first equation with itself, that is MP vector dot product with MP vector, that will be equal to r vector minus l vector dot product with r vector minus l vector. So we have just done the dot product of first equation with itself. So MP vector dot MP vector is nothing but, so it is a vector dot a vector, which is nothing but a square. So that will be MP square. So this will be equal to, so here we have a vector minus b vector dot product with a vector minus b vector. So on solving this, you will get r square plus l square minus 2 times r vector dot product with l vector. So we have used the property of the dot product. So here we get minus twice of r vector dot product with l vector. And on solving this, we will get r square plus l square minus 2 into, so this is r vector dot product with l vector. So here you will get 2rl cos of angle between r and l. So l vector is pointing along this direction and r vector is pointing along this direction, and the angle between these two vectors was assumed to be theta. So 2rl into cos of theta. So this is the expression of MP square. But in the case of potential, so we saw the potential at P point, that is potential at R, because the point P, it is at a distance of R from the center of the dipole. So potential at a R distance is given by potential due to plus Q charge plus potential due to minus Q charge, and potential due to plus Q charge was equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught plus Q divided by MP. Then potential due to minus Q charge, it came out to be minus of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by LP. So to find the potential, we need to find what is MP and what is LP, but here we have found what is MP square. So now we are going to do the square root on both hand sides. So you will get MP is equal to r square plus l square minus 2rl cos of theta. So this is power 1 by 2. So this is the expression of MP. But in this equation, to find the potential, what we need to do is we need to find 1 by MP. So in this expression, we need to find 1 by MP. So here we have MP. So now we will reciprocate it. So 1 by MP will be equal to 1 by r square plus l square minus 2rl cos theta power 1 by 2. Now we will use various approximations and we will simplify this expression. First of all, we will use the first approximation, that this observation point is kept at a very large distance from the dipole. So this r distance is assumed to be very large as compared to the length of the dipole. So this r is assumed to be very greater than the length small l. So this observation point is supposed to be kept at a very large distance as compared to the distance between these two charges. So r is very greater than l. So r square will be also very greater than l square, which means L square, it can be ignored in that particular approximation. So in this approximation, when r is very greater than L, so in this L square, it will be almost negligible as compared to r square. So L square, it can be put equal to, it can be approximated to 0. So this can be neglected under this approximation only. So 1 by MP, it will come out to be 1 by r square minus 2rl cos theta power 1 by 2. Now the next step will be to take r square common from this bracket. So when you will take r square common from this bracket and outside the bracket you have power 1 by 2. So what will be the result in the denominator. So when you will take r square outside, this power 1 by 2 will also come along with r square. So you will get r square power 1 by 2, that will be nothing but r. So outside the bracket you will just get r on taking r square common. So inside the bracket you will be just left with 1 minus 2l cos theta, 2rl cos theta divided by r square power 1 by 2. So inside the bracket we have taken r square as common. So this r square, when it goes outside the bracket, so we have to take into account this square root. So outside the bracket you will get r square power 1 by 2. So therefore we will have just r outside the bracket, and inside the bracket you will have 1 minus, because we are taking r square common, so you will get 1 minus 2rl cos theta divided by r square power 1 by 2 will remain as it is. So this will be equal to 1 by r into 1 minus, this r will cancel with this r, 1 r in the denominator, so you will get 1 minus 2l cos theta divided by r power 1 by 2. So this 1 by r, it will remain as it is, and 1 minus 2l cos theta divided by r, it can be taken in the numerator. So it can be taken in the numerator. So you will get 1 minus 2l cos theta divided by r, power will become now negative, so it will be minus 1 by 2. So in this step we have taken this whole term inside the square bracket, we have taken it to the numerator, so the power will become negative. So power will be now minus 1 by 2. Now in this expression we will use the binomial expansion. So what is binomial expansion? That 1 plus x power n, it is equal to 1 plus nx plus n into n minus 1 into x square power x square by 2, and so on. We have higher order terms. But in this particular approximation, when r is very greater than l, that is r is very greater than l, so this x will be very small. So this x, that is this whole term, it will be very small. So these higher order terms, they can be neglected. So we will have just first two terms left in the case of binomial expansion of this particular term. So this equation, it will become 1 by mp. So this is the expression of 1 by mp. So 1 by mp will be equal to 1 by r. So we have 1 minus this term power minus 1 by 2. So now minus 1 by 2 is n. So here we have 1 plus x power n. So that will become 1 plus nx. So this minus 1 by 2 is n, and x is nothing but minus 2l cos theta by r. So x will be minus 2l cos theta by r. So on expanding this term using the binomial expansion, you will get 1 plus nx. So that is, you will get 1 plus n into x. Now n is nothing but minus 1 by 2 and x is minus 2l cos theta by r. So you will get plus 2l cos theta divided by 2r. So this will be the expansion after using this will be the expression after using the binomial expansion. This 2 will cancel with 2 and you will get 1 by r. So you will open the bracket. So 1 by r plus L cos theta divided by r square. So this will be the expression of 1 by mp. Similarly, you will find the expression of 1 by lp. So here we have just found the expression of 1 by mp. Similarly, you can find the expression of 1 by lp. So using this second equation, so you will do the dot product of this equation with itself, then you will get lp square. You will get expression of lp square. Then you will take the square root on both hand sides. Then you will do you will just reciprocate it, and then you will use this approximation that r is very greater than l. So after following all these similar steps for the case of LP, you will get 1 by LP is equal to 1 by R minus L cos theta divided by R square. So there will be a difference in sign. In the case of MP, you will have positive sign, and in case of LP, you will get negative sign. So we just got the potential due to a dipole at a particular point in space. So that is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by MP minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by LP. So this q by 4 pi epsilon naught is common in both the terms, so it can be taken outside the bracket. So inside the bracket you will just have 1 by MP minus 1 by LP, and we just found the expression of 1 by MP using the approximation. So 1 by MP, it came out to be equal to 1 by R plus L cos theta by R square, and 1 by LP, it came out to be 1 by R minus L cos theta by R square. So we will just insert these expressions over here. So the potential at a particular point in space due to an electric dipole is given by q by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now what is 1 by MP? It is 1 by R plus L cos theta by R square. Then you have negative of 1 by LP. So minus of 1 by LP will be minus of 1 by R plus L cos theta divided by R square. So 1 by R and 1 by R, they will cancel with each other. So you will just have q by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2L cos theta divided by R square. So this is the expression of potential due to an electric dipole. Now in this particular expression, this q into 2L term. So what is 2L? It was the distance between the two charges. So minus q charge and plus q charge, they were separated by a distance of 2L. So 2L is the distance between these two charges, and q is the magnitude of the charge. So q into 2L, that is nothing but the magnitude of dipole moment. So the dipole moment P vector, its magnitude is given by charge times the distance between the two charges. So charge is nothing but q and the distance is nothing but 2L. So this q into 2L will be equal to the magnitude of the dipole moment. So this can be written as P into cos of theta divided by 4 pi epsilon naught divided by R square. Now we had already seen that this theta angle, it was the angle which was made by the position vector of, so this was the center of the dipole, and this was the P point where we were interested to find the electric potential. So this was the R vector, and the direction of dipole moment is given from the negative towards the positive charge. So this was the direction of the dipole moment, and this was the angle between which was made by R vector with the direction of the dipole moment. So this P cos theta, it can be written as P vector dot product with R cap. P cos theta, it can be written in this form because P vector dot product with R cap. So what is P vector dot product with R cap? It is equal to magnitude of P vector, which is P, then magnitude of R cap, which is nothing but 1, into cos of angle between R cap and P vector. So the cos of angle between R cap, so R cap is this direction and P vector is this direction. So we have already seen the dipole moment, it points from negative towards the positive charge. So this is the direction of P vector and this is the direction of R vector. So this is nothing but R cap. So this is the direction of R cap and this is the direction of P vector. So here we have cos of angle between P vector and R cap, and angle is nothing but theta. So P vector dot product with R cap is equal to P cos theta. So this P cos theta it can be written as P vector dot product with r cap divide by 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. It will remain as it is. So this is the final expression of electric potential due to an electric dipole at a particular point r, at a particular point P, which is at a distance of r from the center of the electric dipole. So this is the final result of electric potential due to a dipole. Here an important thing that you have to note is that the electric potential due to a dipole is inversely proportional to r square. So the electric potential due to a dipole is inversely proportional to r square, but for the case of a point source charge, so if we have a point source charge q and we are interested to find electric potential at P point, which is at a distance of r, so this potential is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by r. So potential for the case of a point source charge is inversely proportional to r, whereas the electric potential due to the case of a dipole, it is inversely proportional to r square. So this you have to take into account, that the potential is inversely proportional to 1 by r. So it is inversely proportional to r for the case of point source charge, and it is inversely proportional to r square for the case of an electric dipole. So you can also see various cases where theta is equal to 0 and theta is equal to pi by 2, as well as when theta is equal to pi. So you can find the potential due to an electric dipole at various angles.